Jamie, and I work with Epic. Every person influences children. Welcome to Storytime. All hail the chief. If you were here last week, you know that we have some really great partners that make today possible. M&T Bank is a wonderful sponsor of this event, and so is the Children's Foundation of Erie County. We also have friends here today. Do you see all my friends? We have the Bookmobile from the Buffalo Public Library on one end of us, and sort of bookending us, haha. On the other side is Susan from the library. She's going to be leading us in our art activity. We also have a very special guest. We have Mayor Brown. He's the mayor of the city of Buffalo, the whole city. We're so excited. He will be reading us Teddy, the remarkable tale of a president, a cartoonist, a toy maker, and a bear. Kendra is here with us from Deaf Access Services, and she will be interpreting in ASL for us for the entire event. And then we have Cherish from the YMCA, who will lead us in movement. We have Gabrielle from the Buffalo Museum of Science, and Jackie and a friend from Explore and More. So without further ado, I am going to hand the microphone over to Mayor Brown, and we're going to hear our story, and it's not going to rain on us.
Well, hello, boys and girls and parents. How are you? It is great to be here with all of you. I love reading. I've had a summer reading program for 20 years. I'm encouraging all boys and girls to participate in our virtual summer reading program this summer, and I love reading to boys and girls. I want to thank Jamie Reckel and all of the partners who have made today possible, and I am very pleased to be with you today to read a story that is essentially about our 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt. President Roosevelt was a man who went on to become one of the most influential presidents of the United States of America. And an interesting fact, he was sworn into office right here in Buffalo, New York, at the historic Theodore Roosevelt inaugural site. So this is going to be a great, great book. Teddy, the remarkable tale of a president, a cartoonist, a toy maker, and a bear. Are you ready, boys and girls? Okay. Theodore Roosevelt, or TR to his friends, was once president of the United States. When he wasn't too busy running the country, he liked to ride horses, wrestle, read, lift weights, write books, give speeches, sail boats, go camping, play football, go hunting, but not all at the same time. Do you want to see those pictures? One year, his presidential duties took him to the South, to the state of Mississippi. Between arranging treaties and other such things, he went hunting. His hosts had hoped he might bag a bear or two, but word that TR was coming must have spread quickly, for soon there wasn't a bear to be seen around for miles. Except, that is, for one scruffy, no-account cub. Me? Shoot that little fella? Said the president. Why, if I so much as ruffled his fur, I'd never be able to look at my children in the eyes again. So he put away his gun and returned to Washington and his home in the White House, and that was the end of that. do you all want to see the little cute bear that President Roosevelt didn't shoot? Except that it wasn't the end. For in another part of the city, in the very busy offices of its most important newspaper, the staff cartoonist, Mr. Clifford Berryman, was being visited by his editor-in-chief. Clifford, I want something different, something that touches the heart, something that speaks to everyone. Have your cartoon on my desk first thing in the morning without fail. Yes, sir. No problem at all, sir. Without fail, sir. Yet, there was a problem, a very big problem. He couldn't think of anything to draw. I have an idea, said Harry, the coffee boy, who was always hanging around the newsroom. He told Mr. Berryman about the president and the cub. The story had just come in over the newswire. That's the ticket, said Mr. Berryman with a smile of relief. Young man, you've saved the day. Here, have a donut on me. He drew all night, and as the sun rose over the waking city, he put the finishing touches to his cartoon. Excellent, excellent, said his editor-in-chief between puffs on his cigar. I've got to hand it to you, Clifford. You sure know how to draw bears. Yes, sirree. That's one cuddly bear cub, all right. Others thought so too. The cartoon was reprinted in newspaper after newspaper, in every town and city in the land, including Brooklyn, New York, where a Mr. and Mrs. Mitchum had a little shop. They sold newspapers and candy, novelties and stationery, and even sometimes Mrs. Mitchum's handmade toys. Rosie, take a look at this. The President of the United States refusing to shoot a little bear. Can you beat that? He should be so lucky, Morris. Not every bear gets to meet the president. But such a president, Rosie. We must let everyone know what a big, warm heart he has. Without saying more, Mrs. Mitchum took a piece of scrap material from the bottom of her sewing basket and began to snip the outlines of a little bear. She gave it a pointed snout, snip, stitch, snip, and two rounded little ears, snip, stitch, snip, and a pair of arms and legs, snip, stitch, snip, and large oval paws, snip, stitch, snip, and an ample belly, snip, stitch, snip, and last but certainly not least, a nice firm bottom just right for sitting, snip, stitch, snip. Now I'm going to move a little quicker because we're seeing a few raindrops come down. Then she stitched it all together and stuffed it carefully with fine wood shavings that she used for all of her toys. What will you do for eyes, my dear? Asked Mr. Mitchum, who had been watching her with interest. "Your black shoe buttons will do nicely, Morris. I'll get you new ones tomorrow. And don't forget the nose," added Mr. Mitchum. "A beer's not a beer without his sniffy snout." But Mrs. Mitchum had thought of that too. She chose some strong darning thread from her new sewing basket and snitched on a little black nose. "There now," she said, holding up the beer for inspection. "What do you think?" Mr. Mitchum was delighted. "We'll put it in the shop window, Rosie, near the front for all to see, and we'll add a sign too." But just then, Mr. Mitchum thought of something else, something very important. Teddy's beer, as portrayed by the famous artist, Mr. Clifford K. Berryman. "Perhaps we had better ask permission to use the president's name in advertising our beer, my dear. After all, Teddy Roosevelt is President of the United States." So, Mr. Mitchum hauled a stool over to the counter, sat down, and wrote the President of the United States a letter. When the President received it, he stopped whatever he was doing at the moment, which was no doubt quite important, and dashed off a reply. "Dear Mr. Mitchum, while I don't expect my name will do much good selling beers, you are welcome to use it as you have indicated. It is a bully idea. Sincerely yours, Theodore Roosevelt, President. P.S. Written in haste." "Only in America," said Mr. Mitchum, beaming proudly. "And on White House stationery yet," said Mrs. Mitchum. It wasn't long before it seemed everyone in America wanted to own a teddy bear, for the name had stuck. There were teddy bears dressed as cowboys, bellhops, train conductors, undersea divers, clowns, cricketers, fox hunters, and schoolboys. There were Boy Scouts, hospital patients, chefs, mechanics, soldiers, sailors, and aviators. Look at all of the different types of teddy bears. And there were teddy bears made of burlap, calico, velvet, flannel, mohair, wool, and alpaca. There were brown teddy bears, black teddy bears, auburn teddy bears, white teddy bears, golden teddy bears, and even a red teddy bear ordered by a Russian Grand Duke for his daughter, Princess Xenia. And to go with all these teddy bears, there were teddy bear wardrobes, teddy bear steamer trunks, teddy bear tea sets, teddy bear books, teddy bear songs, teddy bear games, and of course, plenty of teddy bear picnic baskets. The world was filling up with teddy bears, and there was still demand for more. Mr. and Mrs. Mitchum were so overwhelmed with orders, they had to close their little corner shop and build a big factory. A really big factory entirely devoted to the making of teddy bears, which they called the Ideal Novelty and Toy Company. From its vast assembly lines, teddy bears tumbled forth 24 hours a day, week after week after week. Hundreds and thousands and millions of teddy bears of every description, size, and shape. Yet, as different as they all were, even the ones that were supposed to be exactly the same, they all had one thing in common. "You know, Rosie," said Mr. Mitchum, "I think the reason kids love teddy bears so much is that they're so darn cuddly." "Oh no, my dear," Mrs. Mitchum said. "It's because teddy bears give cuddles in return." And there wasn't anyone anywhere who could possibly disagree. Not even the president, who had his very own teddy bear. And boys and girls, parents, grandparents, that is the end of Teddy, the remarkable tale of a president, a cartoonist, a Tory maker, and a bear, written by James Sage and illustrated by Liz Thang. Thank you all very much for listening.
All right, now it's time for everyone to get up. I know you've been sitting for a little while reading the book. It's time to get up. We want to move our bodies a little bit. This thing is like big on my head today, but I'm going to try to hold it and move at the same time. All right, so everybody get on up. Parents, you got to move too. So first we got to shake our sillies out. Shake it all out. We've been sitting and listening to that book. Take it in a circle. Shake it out. All right, are we good? Are all of our sillies gone? I think so. I think we're good. So when we listened to that book, he focused a lot on teddy bears and bears. So I think we got to do some bear crawls and some squat down like a bear, some running like a bear. You think we can do that? I think we can do that. All right, so we got to squat. How do we squat? Do we push our hips back and go down like we're sitting in a chair? And then stand back up? Down, sit down in that chair, come back up. Now we're bears, so I need to hear roar and come back up, roar and come back up. One more roar, big loud roar, roar. Oh, that was a big roar right there. I love it. Now we got to get down and we got to crawl. I know the grass is wet. We will survive, I swear. Come on down, plant those hands, walk your hands forward, and crawl like a bear. Crawl, crawl, crawl. Are we bears? Go backwards. Oh my goodness, go forward. Look at these beautiful bears. Go back. Okay, now walk your hands back to your feet. Come on up. Get all that water off your hand. You can wipe it on your clothes. We do laundry for a reason. Shake those hands out. Now I think I need to see some jumping jacks. Oh my goodness, are you ready? Show them what a jumping jack looks like. Woo! Let's do it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, freeze. Jumping jacks. Now, we're bears. We gotta hunt for some food. We gotta run fast. I wanna see your fastest run. In a circle. Are we ready? Go, go, go! Run like a bear! I'm coming to get you! I'm coming! I'm hunting for food! Here I come! Roar! 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 Run, run, run! Oh my God, I got caught! I got caught! I gotta run away! That little bear got me! I got caught by the cutest bear in the world! Did you see that? I got caught over there. Freeze! What do you do? Oh my goodness, there's a bear loose. There's a bear loose. Who let this bear out of the zoo? Look at this bear out of here. All right, shake it off. Oh my goodness. Did you hear that roar? Did that scare you? Oh, I can't. I'm so scared by this bear right here. Somebody call the zookeeper. Get this bear out of here. Oh. Okay, I need to hear everybody else's roar. Are we ready? On the count of 3, give me a roar. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I need one more, nice and loud. I want them to hear us up there when they drive by. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm so impressed. Are you guys impressed? I'm so impressed. That's amazing. All right, now we gotta stretch it out. Shake those legs, shake those arms, reach those arms up to the sky, and take them down to your toes. Touch those little toes. That dude right there. And then roll your body up. Take your shoulders in a circle. Take them forward in a circle. Step your feet in. Oh, give your teddy self a nice big squeeze. Oh, big teddy bear squeeze. This bear is still growling at me, guys. Oh, oh, oh my goodness. Oh, his roar took me out. His roar took me out. I can't take it. Too many roars. All right, we need to breathe. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. In through your nose. Out through your mouth. Did you have a good time? Yeah. I will see you guys next week. Thank you for moving with me.
I'm so glad that you stayed out here through a little bit of rain. I've got a tarp that I use to cover up my paper to keep it all dry. So I'm just going to move this and hope that nothing blows away. So in our story today, we heard about how the cartoonist, his boss told him, I need you to make me a great cartoon, something that everyone would like to see in the newspaper. So today, our activity for STEM is going to be the T in STEM, which is technology. And we're going to talk about print technology, which is how we have our newspapers produced and how we can all read the same stories and see the same pictures no matter where we are, as long as we have a newspaper. I'd also like to do a shout out to our friends at the library, because if you don't have a newspaper subscription, but you want to stay up on the news, you can always get the latest editions from the library. So go down and check out our friends over there. It's an excellent resource. Today, in your kits, you'll have a piece of foam, or at home, this is just a styrofoam tray that came with some produce that I bought, some vegetables. And I like to use these recycled materials because it's coming into the house anyway, so let's find a way to use it. First, we need to think about what we would like to produce. So in the same way that the cartoonist thought, oh, I need to come up with a really great idea for this cartoon, we're going to think of what we would like to make for our image, for our printmaking. I decided that I was just going to do, what do you think? A teddy bear, yeah, absolutely right. So I've got one that I already made here, but let's go through the process of what we need to do. If you are a good artist, like the cartoonist in our story, you can just draw right on your piece of styrofoam. I needed a little bit of help, and so what I did is I printed out this picture of a teddy bear, and I'm going to use this as a stencil. So I'm going to take this picture of a teddy bear, and I'm going to lay it right down on my foam. It's a little bit large, so let me just make this a little bit smaller by tearing it so it fits on the foam. I like tearing paper. Sometimes I'm not patient enough to look for scissors, and so I think tearing it along the edges works pretty well also. Now that we've got our image, or if you just want to draw it by hand with your imagination, you can do that. I'm going to take my teddy bear and lay it right on the middle of the foam. So I've got the teddy bear on the foam here, and I'm going to take a pencil, or you can use something like a blunt stick, and I'm going to press in all of the lines around the teddy bear. Or if you want to, the easiest thing to do is something like a smiley face, just pressing right into the foam, and you should feel it break through the surface. So I am pressing in to make an indentation around the shape that I want to print. And this is called engraving. When people were making newspapers at the time of Teddy Roosevelt and the bear, they did it through an engraving process, which is really similar to how we make our newspapers today. If you have time, I would look up a video of newspaper printing because it is very, very cool. So now I've traced around part of my teddy bear. And Miss Kendra, I'm going to see, do you see that that's bumped in a little bit? So we've got a little indentation here, but I'm going to switch over to the one that I've made so that we can get through the whole process here. So this one, I've cut the edges off of my container so that it's very flat, because paper is flat and we want it to be able to sit on there really flush. Now, this is what we would use to make all of the copies of the newspaper. So we can use this one drawing that we've made again and again and again and again. And I'll show you how we do this. So I have my teddy bear here. I have this bottle of paint. I've had to put a bag on it because it was leaking some, kind of like we had some rain. So excuse my bag, it's just to keep things tidy. I also have a sponge brush, and this is what I'm going to use to apply the paint over the foam. So I just want to put a little bit of paint on my foam brush, and then I'm going to paint that right across the entire surface of where the teddy bear is. Can you see that some of the areas are not covered with paint? I don't know if you can see those outlines from where you sit. So those are all the places that I've pressed down into the design to make a teddy bear. So now that we've got our foam covered in paint, we want to take a sheet of paper. I've got this large sheet. You know, newspapers are pretty big, right? And so if I were the cartoonist and I was having mine printed, I think I'm going to put mine in the bottom corner here so that even when the newspaper is folded up, you can still see the cartoon of the bear. So for this, we've got the paint on the template here, and we're going to lay the paper on top. And for the newspaper process, they have a big roller machine, but I'm going to use this brayer, which is just a little rubber piece, and I'm going to press really smoothly across. Now when I peel the paper up, I want to lift it right up. And we have a little bit of a teddy bear imprint there. But say we wanted to make more copies. We want to make many, many, many copies of this teddy bear. Just like in the story, there were all those teddy bears. All we need to do is take our same template, add a little bit more paint. So my paintbrush has dried out a little bit. Let me just add a little bit more on here. And when you are putting your paint on, if it's too thick and you can't see the white parts in your foam, the lines, then you might not get a clear impression. So you just want a thin layer of paint there. And again, I've got my painted teddy bear. And I'm going to try to make a second copy right on the other corner. I'm going to lay my paper on top. And this time I'll smooth it with my hand. Because sometimes you don't have all the tools, but you can still make do. So I'm smoothing that. I want the paper not to move when I'm pressing on. And then I'm going to lift it up. Oh, that one looks a lot better, doesn't it? And so a lot of times you need to practice and do things again and again. And that way you can get a little bit better and have a better result each time. So that's what I wanted to tell you about the engraving process, where we make one version of a drawing that we'll use again and again. And then for printmaking in the newspaper, inking the plate of the engraving and then taking a print using paper laid over that paint. So that is our not only T for teddy bear, but T for technology.
I brought Teddy over here. He usually lives in the exhibits, but he wanted to come and visit everyone today. So today we are going to play a fun game that we're going to call President Says. It's a game where I'll lead and you guys will follow, just kind of like how the President of the United States leads the nation, and we kind of follow what he does. So a president has a lot of different jobs to do. For this, we can stand up if we'd like to. If you'd like to act it out, Miss Maeve is going to be doing some acting out. She's going to use her imagination in doing some different tasks. So let me see. The president, he's in charge of foreign policy. So let me see. I'll say, President Says, lead some foreign policy. Can you shake the hands of some new friends? You're going to make friends. Can I see some peace signs? You want to make sure that you're being nice and peaceful with everyone and making new friends. Shake those hands again. Maybe wave, just kind of like what we did earlier. Good job. Let me see. Oh, good job. The president, he's in charge of the armed forces. He's the commander-in-chief. Can you give a big salute? President Says, give a big salute. Good job, friends. Ooh, I even see some nice, good posture. Very good, friends. Let me see. Oh, the president, he flies around on Air Force One, right? Who can pretend to be an airplane? Can you guys pretend to be an airplane, fly around on Air Force One like the president? I see a wonderful airplane over there. You're doing such a good job. Running around, amazing. Let me see. The president also signs bills into laws. These aren't like duck bills. These aren't bills like electricity bill or gas bills. These are bills that are going to turn into law. So give it a good signature. Maybe dip it in your inkwell and wet it with your tongue, and then give a big signature. Maybe you can use your initials to sign. What are your initials? My initials are J for Jackie, and a big S for my last name. Let me see. Presidents, this is a silly one. They might kiss some babies. Can you pretend to have a baby? Kiss my teddy. Maybe blow some kisses. Kiss some babies. Oh, so sweet. You can kiss one of your family members if you like. Let me see. Presidents, we just talked about bills a second ago. Presidents will veto bills. Veto means saying no, basically. Can you say a big no? Can I see some fingers wagging? No, thanks. They can veto a bill. Let me see. Teddy from our story, President Teddy Roosevelt, he did some other things when he was relaxing. He rode around on horses. Who can ride around on a horse? Can you give a big yeehaw? Oh, good, I heard that. That was awesome, friends. Ride those horses around. Very nice, everyone. Let me see. President Teddy Roosevelt, he also went camping, didn't he? Oh my goodness, look at all this rain. Remember from last week when we pretended to have raindrops falling down on us? So can we light up a campfire? Pull out a marshmallow, maybe roast a marshmallow because you're going camping like Teddy Roosevelt? Let me see. What else can we do? In our book, there were a lot of different types of bears, weren't there? Our teddies became so many different things. Just like when we grow up, we can become so many different things. If my friends, if you'd still like to play around with me, we can pretend to be doctors or nurses. I have a stethoscope with me. I can put it in my ears. Or if I'm not using it, I can put it around my neck. Maybe you can listen to your patient's heartbeat. You can make sure they're doing okay. Be extra nice to your patients. I dropped my stethoscope. Let me see. Miss Maeve, would you like to be a construction worker? I have a hard hat. If you're pretending to be a construction worker with Miss Maeve, you can put on a hard hat. Give it a good little knock. You can put on a construction vest. You're looking amazing, Miss Maeve. She's dressing up as a construction worker. We can hammer things. Who can hammer things? Good job. You can saw. You can use your saw. Let me see. What else? Can we be dancers? Who can give a good dance? A little twirl. You can be anything that you want to be when you grow up. Even the president, kind of like how we were just doing earlier with signing bills, vetoing bills, riding around on Air Force One. In your bags, if you'd like to, my friends, we would be working with paper, and right now if it's raining a little bit, it might not be a great idea, but you can pull out your paper if you'd like. There is a star in your bag, and there should be some crayons in your bag. You can take a peek into your bag and see what you have there. Now, what I would suggest, my friends, you can take out those crayons and you can write down what you'd like to be when you grow up. And it can be anything that you like. When I grew up, when I was little, I wanted to be a princess when I would grow up. That's what I wanted. And so you can write down, you can draw what you want to be when you grow up. You can have your grown-up write it down for you. And if you do want to do this activity, a really great idea is to write down the date on the back of that star and hold on to it tight. And see what happens in the next few years. See how your heart changes, see how your brain changes, and see if you want to be anything different when you grow up. Or maybe in a few years, in a lot of years, you'll be what you want to be today. Wouldn't that be so neat? I'm going to very quickly show you what to do with your bear that is in your craft kit if you've seen it. And we're going to make, and again, this will be on YouTube, we're going to make little bears that look like Teddy Roosevelts. So if you look at your little craft kits, which I have hidden under the table, so give me 1 second. Where'd my bear go? It's very easy to make your Teddy Roosevelt bear, though it's a little wet. So maybe you'll want to do this at home. The key for making, you know what, I'm just going to show you because it's just not going to happen. The key to making your Teddy Roosevelt bear, you must glue on Teddy Roosevelt's mustache first. Very important to do the mustache. Then you do the bear nose. Then you put on his glasses that have a very special name called pince-nez. Can you say that? I don't know how you say that. Pince-nez is a kind of sunglasses, it's a kind of glasses that pinch right on your nose, like pince and nez, which is French for nose. And then you put on his eyes, and don't forget his bow tie. And then to make him stand up, you can glue a little bear to his hands, and he will, in theory, stand up by himself, and you'll have your own little Teddy Roosevelt bear that Miss Gabby lent me her water bottle that I will stand like this so you can see that he will stand up and be very cute. So this is the rain version of the Teddy Roosevelt bear. Thanks, guys!